This video is sponsored by CyberDefenders, a blue team training platform focused on the defensive side of cybersecurity and providing training for those who want to learn, validate, and advance their cyber defense skills. CyberDefenders has collaborated with the channel to offer 2 free vouchers for their Premier Certified Cyber Defender CCD certification and 3 free annual subscriptions to their cyber range. More details about this giveaway later on in the video. If you're trying to become a cybersecurity professional, you might be encountering a common barrier that's possibly holding you back from securing a job. This barrier is the tendency to jump from one cybersecurity topic to another, from pen testing to threat detection to cloud security to incident response and so on, without really mastering anything. And that's precisely why I'm creating this video. Once you've grasped the basic principles of cybersecurity, the next crucial step is specialization. Now, I know a lot of people in the industry actually frown upon this idea, but the reality is this: the earlier you specialize, the faster you'll be able to get a job because you have specific skills required for specific roles. The reason why specializing is important is because the cybersecurity jobs out there actually do require specific skills and specific knowledge. With that being said, if you're interested in defensive security, the main areas you might actually consider specializing in are typically threat detection, incident response, or a blend of both. While there are countless niches within the domain of defensive cybersecurity, these two are foundational and most defensive security roles are typically built upon them. Now, before we get started in the video, I invite you to join the Cyberwox Academy Discord. We have almost 4,000 people in there and we're having conversations all the time. Everything from cybersecurity to college, certifications, resume help, and other things like fitness, finance, anime, and other cool things. It'll be linked in the description below. Now, let's actually explore each specialization in detail, looking at the roles, the tools, salaries, and the skills you need to succeed in these roles. Starting with threat detection. Threat detection involves monitoring security systems and networks, identifying and surfacing potential threats before or during a breach, and leveraging threat intelligence to understand the landscape of cybersecurity threats to defend against them proactively. Hey, real quick, there's no doubt at all that this video is all about threat detection and incident response, so there's no better company to partner with on this other than CyberDefenders. And as a part of this partnership, CyberDefenders was kind enough to partner with the Cyberwox channel for an amazing giveaway. And as part of this giveaway, they're offering 2 free vouchers for the Certified Cyber Defender, or CCD, which is their premier vendor-neutral, hands-on blue team cybersecurity training and certification program that prepares the next generation of SOC analysts, security blue teams, threat hunters, and digital forensics and incident response professionals. This certification needs no introduction at all. It's in a breed of its own, and I've made multiple videos about it. And in addition to these 2 free vouchers, the Cyber Defenders team is also offering 3 free annual subscriptions for the cyber range, which contains superior quality real-world investigation labs that will help you develop the analytical and problem-solving mindset that you need to succeed on the cybersecurity blue team. So here's the good part. To be eligible for the giveaway, you need to follow the following steps. Make sure you subscribe to the channel or follow me on whatever platform you're watching this on. Share this video with at least one person. Or if you're watching this on X or LinkedIn, retweet or repost this and mention 1 or more reasons why you want to be a part of the Cyber Defenders community. And also make sure to tag or mention the Cyber Defenders page on LinkedIn or X if you're doing this on there. And as a part of your post, make sure to choose which product you would prefer, whether it's the CCD you would like or access to the cyber range. And finally, if you have any previous experience with Cyber Defenders, be sure to share that within that post as well. Just make sure to combine all of these things into a single post and make sure you're tagging Cyber Defenders on whether LinkedIn or X when you're making this post. The competition will be available for 7 days, and then the winners will be chosen randomly and contacted to receive their gifts. And that's it. Make sure to follow the steps, and I look forward to seeing those who win. A huge thank you to Cyber Defenders for sponsoring this video and partnering with me on this. And with that said, let's jump right back into the video. As a threat detection engineer, you'll be working on a lot of log ingestion from various sources, creating and tuning detection rules, and ensuring that your detection systems, code, and mechanisms properly function. In contrast, incident response kicks in after a security breach has occurred. This specialization typically requires that you manage the breach by analyzing the attack, containing the threat, eradicating the risk, and then recovering the system or network to normal operations. As an incident response engineer, you need a good understanding of attack vectors, mitigating damage, containing threats, and preventing future incidents, some of which will actually require collaboration with threat detection if the functions are separated in your organization. I've gone over all of these different functions of incident response in a separate video I made about the incident response lifecycle. I'll recommend checking it out on my channel, in the description, or somewhere on the screen. And for those who want a comprehensive role combining or unifying both detection and incident response, it offers a broader perspective. The combination actually enables you to anticipate and detect attacks, as well as handle and recover from them, making you a versatile asset to any defensive cybersecurity team. Now, I highly recommend first gaining some experience in one domain before pivoting into the other, as trying to learn both at once when you're just getting started might actually be overwhelming, depending on the organization. Personally, I started off in threat detection, working at various security operations centers, MSSPs, and MDRs, and then I pivoted into my last role as a detection engineer at Datadog, where I focused on detecting threats for multi-cloud environments, SaaS applications, endpoints, and networks. After 3+ years of doing that, I now work at Amazon doing incident response engineering, where I focus on owning end-to-end deep dive investigations, eradication, containment, and recovery for various security cases. I can definitely tell you that my threat detection experience has helped me a lot in my new role and will play a huge role in my journey to becoming a staff security engineer focused on detection and response engineering. Now, regardless of your chosen path, integrating practical skills and tools into your learning journey is essential. Skills like data analysis, scripting, and forensic analysis, amongst many others, will be very helpful for both threat detection and incident response. Also, learning how to use security detection and response platforms like Splunk, Datadog, Logic, Elastic, Security Onion, CrowdStrike, and Waza, among many others, can significantly boost your career. Again, depending on the organization and the tools that they use. Now, choosing a path often depends on your career goals and personal interests. Even though entry-level positions in threat detection and incident response might be less accessible due to the higher experience requirements, starting off as a security analyst or SOC analyst or a detection or response analyst could ultimately get you a foot in the door. And to help you with this, I actually asked various hiring managers on LinkedIn what they would be looking for if they were to hire entry-level candidates for these roles, and I made a separate video about that, which you can find on my channel or in the description or somewhere on the screen as well. To sum the video up, the general consensus is that these roles are typically not entry-level, and some previous experience is typically required. And as I shared earlier on, I started off my career in threat detection, working at various SOCs, MSSPs, and MDRs, and then pivoted into becoming a detection engineer at Datadog, and now I work in incident response. That's typically the recommended path. Not exactly the same as mine, but definitely starting off as an analyst. Now, let's dive into the pay. I know you've been waiting for this part. So, the salaries and pay here are not quite different, as they vary based on experience, location, and company. I wouldn't recommend picking any of these roles solely based on the salary, as you can get paid very well in either of them. I would rather you get into the field as soon as you can, and because you have an interest in it, but on the other hand, I do understand if money is your motivating factor. Ultimately, we all have to survive. Regardless, here are some figures to help you understand what to expect pay-wise for these roles. According to InfoSec Jobs, the average salary for a detection engineer in the United States, whether junior or senior, lies between $160,000 and $240,000. Now, this is definitely a higher range, as I've seen more salaries between $120,000 and $150,000, but it also depends on the company and level of experience of the engineer. If you're at a smaller MSSP or MDR, probably looking at the lower hundreds of $110,000 to mid hundreds of $150,000. But if you're at a tech company or maybe a finance company with things like sign-on bonuses and stock and performance bonuses in addition to your base salary, you're definitely looking at upwards of $160,000 to $200,000. Then as you progress on into senior level roles, staff level roles, management roles, it starts to go up to $250,000, $300,000, and upwards of that. However, remember that this is very subjective and limited to the company, location, and experience. So, for example, two security engineers with the same level of experience and skill at the same company may earn differently because one lives in New York and the other lives in Dallas. The one in New York may earn about $250,000 per year, while the one living in Dallas may earn about $200,000 per year, simply because the cost of living differs in those areas. So, the next time you see those high salaries, factor in the cost of living in the area where the job is located, the sector the company is in, like tech or finance, and then the required experience for that particular role. Obviously, senior, management, and staff level roles will pay much more than junior and mid-level roles. This same range and principle also applies to incident response roles or roles that combine both. In general, just bear in mind that if you can get really good at either of these fields, you have the potential to earn a lot more than if you were just decent at your job. So, whatever you find that you can actually get good at, that is truly your interest, and that you like to learn a lot about, it's where you make the most money. Now, I know I talked about specialization very earlier on in the video. Let's actually talk about that. Choosing between threat detection and incident response should reflect your interests and your strengths. If you prefer to anticipate challenges, be more analytical and data-oriented, and monitoring and identifying attacks, then you should focus on threat detection. However, if you thrive under pressure or get a kick out of stressful situations where you have to be calm and think clearly, like myself, or you enjoy tackling problems as they arise, then incident response will be more for you. And truth be told, I actually get a kick out of responding to incidents. But on a serious note, understanding your personal inclinations should guide your decisions. And to further help you understand the responsibilities of these roles, I'll be breaking them down in terms of duties and even specifically based on my own experience experience so you can understand the full picture of what you actually be doing and have better information to actually make a decision on these two. Let's start with detection engineering or threat detection. During my time as a detection engineer at Datadog, I did everything a detection engineer does. I joined the Datadog Cloud SIEM team as the third engineering hire on that team to contribute my skills to scaling threat research, detection, content development, and the overall product maturity because it is a product company and my role was mainly product focused. Remember that this might vary if you work in an MDR or MSSP that actually licenses out various security products. So as a member of the detection and research team at Datadog, I focused mainly on detection engineering, threat research, threat hunting, threat emulation, and response automation, a little bit of everything. My focus was on various things like cloud-native environments like Kubernetes, public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, SaaS applications like Cloudflare, Salesforce, Vault, 1Password, identity providers like Auth0, Okta, endpoints including macOS, Windows, Linux, and network technologies. Most days, it looked more like writing detection as code and pushing it through CI/CD pipelines for the platform and for our customers. Some other days involved developing login pipelines and processors and building overview dashboards to visualize and augment the customer's detection and response capabilities. I also spent some time there working in a sister team that focused on cloud workload security, where I researched Linux and container-based detections and worked on reducing signal noise and false positives. Some of my work involved tuning and decomposing some noisy detections for containers into multiple higher fidelity detections. I also worked on a project where I was involved in developing an AWS threat emulation framework on top of Datadog's Shutter's Red Team and Datadog's Cloud SIEM. This framework was made to simplify the validation process for new customers, data pipelines, and detection rule sets within their environments. And on some other days, I was involved in some threat hunting using tools like Python and Jupyter Notebooks to identify possible indicators of compromise or attack techniques. So some skills required here are general security knowledge, some cloud security knowledge, and understanding of systems like Linux, macOS, and Windows, containerization, DevOps processes like CI/CD and Git, Python for scripting and data analysis, and most importantly, a platform, Datadog. Now, as a security incident response engineer at Amazon, my days look entirely different. These days, you'll find me working on deep dive investigations involving eradication, containment, and recovery for various security cases involving things like data exfiltration, policy violations, fraud, abuse, account takeovers, application vulnerabilities, and so much more. I also now serve as an incident commander and participate in the on-call schedule to ensure round-the-clock support for responding to high-severity incidents when it's my turn to be on the call. In addition to this, I have to collaborate closely with threat detection, threat intelligence, application security, and other teams to develop and continuously enhance our detection and prevention solutions, and also help safeguard our critical systems and information. Sometimes I also have to work with business teams like HR and legal teams to conduct intricate investigations and take appropriate actions in response to confirmed threats. Based on all of this, the skills are similar, but now they focus more on analysis, investigation, problem solving, staying calm in high pressure situations, communication, and collaboration with various teams. As you can see, these two roles vary widely but have a lot of similarities. They might differ in various organizations, but they're not too far from what I just laid out. Now, in order to make an informed decision, I recommend experimenting with both fields through short projects, internships, or even virtual labs. Experience is truly the best teacher, and getting a hands-on feel for each of these roles demands will provide you invaluable insights into which path suits you best. And on the other hand, if you want to see a day in the life of a person doing either of these roles, I have several videos on my channel that cover that. You can just simply search YouTube for a day in the life Cyberwox and you see enough videos from me related to that. Now, with all of that in mind, as I said earlier on, before considering becoming a detection and response engineer, you should either have done some incident response engineering or some detection engineering before attempting to combine both. As a matter of fact, it will be a lot harder to get jobs combining both without prior experience in either. So if you want to know what cybersecurity hiring managers are looking for when they're hiring for these roles, you definitely need to check out this video in which I asked various hiring managers what they require for entry-level threat detection and incident response candidates, or this video about the cybersecurity incident response lifecycle. I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.